Hey y'all, so I finally finished my seventh book for this year, and Our Iceberg is Melting is the name of it by John Cotter. This book was actually recommended by my employer to read for everyone in the HR to read it, and we're just going to talk about it when we have our meeting. But I'm going to say that this was a really interesting book. It taught me, it's a lot of informational things, and this book is a fiction book, but it's more of a fable fiction book. And actually my first time reading a fable book. So I believe that the book is very useful for businesses, especially when they are looking to implement some changes within the workplace. And it provides like strategies on how to, deal with people who are adamant about those changes, and then trying to convince people and more, people like buy-ins and individuals who would like to participate to make sure those changes stick within the workplace. So it was like an 8-step process related to changes that was mentioned, and they used this illustration of a colony of birds. Their iceberg was supposed to be melting. The person that initially was Fred, who observed the actual home, the iceberg, and noticed that there was some kind of changes that he was concerned about. So he decided to share it with instead of sharing it with everyone and all of the other leaders. He didn't want to do that because he mentioned at the beginning that someone else tried to do that and no one listened to that person. So he ended up getting kind of just looked at for being weird or whatever. So he wanted to take a different approach. So he started off telling one person, Alice, about the changes within the iceberg. So, Alice was very open minded and was like, okay, well, show me. So they ended up going inside of the water, and then they ended up seeing a cave. So that cave was an indicator that there's a possibility of an iceberg, their home melting. So after that, Alice decided, you know what, let's go ahead and present this to the leaders of the colony. And, he was still hesitant because he didn't know if they were going to be listening or they're going to be just dismissive or whatever. So he decided to, present like an illustration of the what could happen. So once he provided that illustration, that's when, some people were like, okay, let's go ahead and figure out like a strategy to let the individuals within that iceberg, so all of the other family, the colony, know that the iceberg is going to be melting and they need to consider moving. So, long story short, they noticed that there was like another bird, a seagull that was like flying. And usually seagulls, they, because of the area that they were in, they don't really, and then the seagulls usually kind of, I think they only fly in like groups or something like that, but this seagull was by himself. So they were like, hey, talking to the seagull, the animal was talking to the animal, like, what are you doing up there? So, and so the animal ended up explaining like what they were doing. So the animal was looking for home, so they're not complacent with the current home. So they end up always kind of like move. I forgot the word that they used in here, but they're not settling for every home that they're in. They're always on the move. So he's just trying to, that seagull was trying to find another home. So that's when the penguins kind of thought about it. It was like, oh, wait a minute, that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be complacent and making this our permanent home. We should be able to kind of like find a home every time as well. Like every year, every couple of years, goes on a quest to find another home, because you never know that this ice bird might melt. Anyways, I feel like I'm telling too much. Y'all need to read it. It's only 125, 50 something pages, so go ahead and read it. Like I said, it's a very useful tool for individuals, like organizations trying to implement changes, and like following those steps is very helpful. But anyways, I'm off that book. Okay, I read that. Y'all got enough. This is my next book. All right. And I wanted to read a standalone book only because I have a bunch of books over there that has other books attached to it. So it's a series. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I want to get through all of my standalone books first before I hop into the ones with the series. But this is Tia Williams, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. And this will be my next one. So book number 8 for the year. All right, y'all. Good night.